I'm in a mode right now where the books I'm reading, and I don't know how I got into this mode, are either rereading books that I haven't read since my teenage years, or reading books that I ought to have read that never read. I don't know why I got into that mode, but I reread Animal Farm recently because my son was reading it in school, and I reread A Separate Piece because I saw it on the bookshelf. I'm like, oh, I haven't heard about Phineas in 40 years, so why don't I go see how he's doing in that book? And now I'm reading, as Cantor Chorney saw this morning, The Color Purple, which I'd never read before. Seen it, remember seeing it, the movie in 84, I think 84. First time I saw a movie alone with my sister. I don't know why the two of us were seeing it together, and my mother picked us up at the end of the movie, and we were a wreck. We were just weeping, just buckets of mush after that movie. And it's interesting coming to read the book 40 years later. So far, I don't know if you've read the book, I prefer the movie. The style of the book is not hitting me. But there's one very tender scene. There are many tender scenes, but the tender scene I'm referring to is when Celie, the character is played by Whoopi Goldberg in the movie, and Shug Avery, I forgot what actress plays her in 1984, who have a much closer bond and more intimate connection in the book than the movie. They're talking about God because the book is set up in such a way that the first 200 pages of the book are 2 to 3 page chapters where Celie is starting it by saying, "Dear God." She's writing prayers or letters to God. That's how the book basically evolves. And at some point, Shug and Celie are talking about their different conceptions of God. And it's really very powerful theological conversation going on there. And at some point, what Shug says to Celie about church going is that people don't go to church to find God. They go to church to share God. It's a really lovely conception about what it is we might be doing here over the next few hours. This is not a theology class. This is not an opportunity for you to burnish your own internal credentials about what you think and know about the divine. That's a worthy explanation, but that's a lifetime exploration. It's not going to happen in 3 hours. In fact, if you aim for it to happen, you'll probably be disappointed. Your goal for these days and hours is not to find God here. Not that God can't be found. But if you try to find God here, you probably won't. But to share God, by which I think Shug meant share in the experience of other people who are coming into the same space with the singular attempt of elevating their experience beyond the norm to the transcendent. That's my overly wordy way of describing what I think Shug was saying to Celie. You're going to see God's name throughout the liturgy. You're going to say God's name in Hebrew or in English, depending on which language you pray in. And God can be found here. I don't think God can be found here any more than God can be found anywhere else, but God can be found here. But don't go on a search mission throughout these hours. Go on a sharing mission. Don't try to identify where God is or God isn't, which might lead to disappointment. Just lean in and breathe in and sing in and soul in to the fact that everyone who's in this building today is probably trying to share God with one another. Share your God with one another. It'll be a good Yontif.